Gentlemen, we've been talking about this far too long to get you guys on the podcast. Months. Pretty much since we started, there has been rumours circling that YouTube Leb Jets are going to get on here and talk absolute smart. We had a few different concepts about what we're actually going to do for the podcast. I think that this is still a pretty steady way to be able to do it. And I'm excited for it. Benny is ecstatic for it. We've leveled up. We are number 10 now.
I have my own mic.
Equipment.
Yeah, Benny has his own mic for the first time. We've actually got mics in front of us. We're hoping that the quality is actually going to pick up a fair bit and it's not going to be too overlapping.
Well,
but
booking the hotel for us for the night, that was sweet.
you've come a long way, mate.
Yeah. Well, you said you couldn't pay us, and I was like, look, the hotel, take us out for dinner.
Couple pints.
That's enough. You know?
And you ended up returning and buying me beers.
And even I bought you a drink as well. I'm such a sucker.
Never seen that happen before.
I know.
So we've got Jobe Jabroni, for those that don't know him, and our good friend Angus Mcginn down the end. So, boys, are very, very welcomed to the podcast. We appreciate you being here. And
Big fan.
Again, we're so excited to have you guys. So, we're going to open with a question.
Wait on me.
What's one item that you cannot go without to a doof? Jabroni?
The walking stick.
The walking, not the doof stick, the walking stick.
I disguise it as a doof stick, but it's purely there for my back.
Yeah, by the end of any festival, 4 days in, this cunt is like half his height, hunched over, just in pain the entire time.
Yeah, it's rough.
Walking stick's a good one.
Disco back, I think they call it.
Mate, I'd say up and goes. I don't think I could survive till the end without a pack of up and goes.
But
That's
you
a good
won't
one.
drink
I'm
any
not
of them.
eating. Yeah, don't drink
You
it.
just bring them.
Are they warm by the end, though?
No, they stay in the esky,
They're
but
just soggy because the ice is melted.
By the end, though, there is absolutely no ice left in the esky.
yeah, it's still cold.
It's rotting at the what are they?
You don't need a refrigerator, but
That's when you do the head dunks. The head dunks at a festival I live for.
Do you rub the banana on your face afterwards as well?
Yeah, I do. Shout out Ashton Hall.
pheromone. What do you bring to a dual food up?
One thing that I can't go without at a doof, it's definitely not sunscreen because I just don't believe in it.
No.
But, whoa, yeah, I actually did think this would be thrown at me.
It's happening already. Your own question. Boomerang.
Here's not being prepared.
Yeah.
We know it's
Probably just a woman.
A
too,
hat
eh?
and sunglasses, definitely, especially be able to hide the eyes after a couple of days. That's
Just
for sure.
disguise yourself because
Yeah.
you need
When
to.
I don't
it's
even
not tricky.
when I don't even want to look at myself, that's when I'm in trouble.
No
That's
one
when
else is
someone's in
allowed to
trouble.
A lot
eat.
of angry women out there as well. You got to hide yourself from.
We had an interesting poll up last week on the pod page on Instagram. It got people going. And I'm going to throw it over to both of you. A red flag that someone has either an animal or a breed of dog that people do not fuck with. And this was, to me, it was quite interesting because we had like a couple of sit around stories of dog breed, but I'm going to throw it out to animal. I had a stake in the ground obvious point here within the post that dangerous breeds were obviously the first indicator. Like everybody may or may not agree. Like there's nothing wrong with dangerous breeds. Females mostly would point in pit bull, no go. But an interesting outcome, and we might discuss it after, came with some funny stories about them. But we'll have our own opinions on this. But Angus?
I'm gonna have to say sausage dogs. I just feel like every chick with a sausage dog or a French bulldog, sausage dog or French bulldogs, I just know that they don't care about the animal itself. They just want to look cool. And they're like go into it full well knowing that this thing's gonna live a life of suffering, and it sucks. It's gonna bite people. No one's gonna like it. Like
I agree.
jump off the couch and break its back at some point, and they're just like, it sounds good.
It's cool to see a friend sausage dog, but fuck own
It's better to
one.
see it paralyzed.
What about that lady that got eaten by a sausage dog as well?
Did she have a sausage dog?
It's like this old woman. She
Like
just
six
fell
of them.
down at some point and got eaten alive.
Well, who knows what really happened? But
The first thing that a dog goes for if you die in the house, like they try and preserve you for a little bit. They're like, oh no, he
it's
could
not
come
right
back.
yet.
He could come back. He could come back. But what they do, they eat your eyes first.
Do they? Is that true?
That's
Yeah.
true.
It's the easiest soft meat to
I
get
reckon
to.
they would start at the face. Yeah,
And
I do agree with that. Yeah.
Sausage dogs
nice
go
cheek
straight
for a
up.
They're
tongue.
either up my ass or in my face dogs whenever I'm with them.
Straight through your eyeballs. Jabroni, what do you got for us?
Well, speaking of dogs and up your asses, a breed that I think is a red flag, probably like a fucking bird.
It can be any. Yeah, I was thinking bird as well. Cockatiel.
Oh, if I walk into a house and the bird's the alarm bell, like
How
I instantly
cruel.
hate being there.
How
Not even
cruel.
cruel.
They're so
fuck
fucking
the
loud.
bird. I don't care about the bird. I care about my ears.
Someone's at the door! Someone's at the door!
Birds in cages, I'm all for. It's just in houses I'm against.
Have you had experiences with you going to a girl's house before and she's got a bird in the house?
This
Or is
morning,
this just theoretical?
This morning.
for work, unfortunately, no, it wasn't a cool route story, but this morning I went into a house. Kind of hot chick as well. She had a boyfriend who was present, but bird just, it was completely off her from the get-go.
Present.
Not because of the boyfriend, just because of the bird in the cage.
That's fair.
Completely off it.
What the bird do?
It's a good answer.
Just was vocal, pretty much. I just don't get it. Like birds, they sit in like someone's living room.
I feel bad for them. Yeah, they sit there, and as soon as you walk
Yeah.
past it, they act like you're about to fucking wring its neck and just scream.
And like, all they do is just jump from wall to wall and just scream. And the people that live with these birds just become numb to it. They're like the weirdos that live on a train track.
It's normal. Yeah.
Those people just live on the train track and their house vibrates every
They're
hour.
just
and
so
they don't
actually
even
used
know.
to the noise constantly that they don't get
Yeah,
it.
but like
Yeah.
with the train, at least you get a cheap house. The bird's just pointless.
The birds. What was your answer? Like I would much
Sausage
rather
dog or
a chick with a
Frenchie.
sausage
A
dog.
Frenchie sounds like a bird sometimes.
Any
if you get 'em
dog.
straight.
If I pulled up and she had a dog, I'd be like, hell yeah. But if it was a bird, like, fuck you, I'm out of here after we have sex.
We've got, like, we actually had some stories written in about sausage dogs and experiences within them. And, like, there is one that I'll definitely keep for another time because it was a discussion point and quite funny about what you would do.
Are we still talking about dogs?
Yeah, we are.
Tell them the story about. Remember that? I won't give too much of it away, but it was from your hometown.
My friend.
A certain visitor come to visit a certain someone's dog.
Yeah. So,
Oh,
this is probably 5 years ago. I'm probably 19, 20, and one of my good friends, when he goes to work every day and his mum goes to work, he has a little sister who's probably 2 years old, and they have a family friend who's maybe 18, 19, who will come look after the 2-year-old every time my mate and his mother are at work. And one day she's looking after the 2-year-old and she looks out the window and there's some guy and he's just peeking over their property fence. And it scared her, and she's like, "Oh, I better check on the kid." And the 19-year-old girl checks on the 2-year-old, and the 2-year-old's asleep and fine. And then she goes, "Like, where's the dog?" The dog's usually by her side, and the dog's a big Great Dane.
Which are big dogs, by the
Huge
way.
dogs.
They're actually massive.
They're like
yeah.
bigger than the average human.
I think they're massive.
The biggest dog, I believe. I could be wrong.
Some sort of big dog.
But so she's a little scared because like some guy's just creeping over the fence. And she waits 15 and she goes in the backyard to see if she can find the dog. And she walks behind the shed, and there's the guy that was peeking over the fence, naked on his knees and all fours pretty much, and he's trying to get the Great Dane to bum him up the arse.
Stop it.
And that this is a this is a poor 18-year-old girl that's seen this, and she's just screamed. And the bloke, I think he was an older bloke, he just
It's so fun.
he jumps up and he grabs his clothes and he looks at her and says, "I'm so sorry. I promise I'll never come back." And
So
she,
I'll never come back. He's been before.
yeah, so
This
he-
is his first rodeo.
so she's
Doggy-o.
obviously distraught. And
So, and, like, right now, I picture, like, there's you've got a shed out the back somewhere,
Yeah.
and there's just between the fence and
Yeah.
the shed, like, a lot
Yeah.
of people
Like
have.
the dead spot from the
Yeah,
Yeah.
correct. So, like, there
Can't
is
see,
nothing,
yeah.
and this guy's just, like, naked,
Yeah.
and he's on all fours
All
with
hands
the
and
dog
fours.
behind him.
Yeah, and she called the homeowner, the mother, and obviously the police were called, and they have security cam footage, and they've checked the security footage, and sure enough, like the last few weeks, they've seen this guy walking down the driveway at 11, 10 o'clock at night just to have a little session with the
Secret
Great
admirer.
Dane. But like, I don't know who I'm more pissed at there, my dog or the old man, you know? I don't know if I could look at my dog the same again after that.
Yeah, true. And like the dog's the one sort of like it's not really the bloke raping the dog; it's the other way around.
Well, we don't know what happened. Those other.
We don't know
events.
the sexual orientation of the dog either.
We
That's
don't
really
know.
important.
We just know what that poor girl's seen, but
Yeah,
obviously
that's scarring for her. We've had a few scarring stories on the podcast, but like that's
it's rough. And they put a photo of the guy on the local police Facebook page, and here's me in the comments section, like, "You'll never catch me." But yeah, there's a good friend of mine that happened to his family, and he was kind of embarrassed to tell us, but I was like, yeah,
It's a great day and a red flag then.
well, who knows who went wrong there? I mean, the guy's old.
Is it a red flag then, Angus,
Experiment.
for a female to have a great day?
A fuckable
A
dog.
fucking dog. Because like
I think it is because I work at people's houses every now and then, and I swear the bigger the dog, the weirder the relationship the chick has with the dog.
with the dog.
That's
yeah.
factual.
They'll like let it lick her face and all this weird shit, and you're just like, what do you get up to?
Let's not discredit the males are pretty weird with dogs as well,
Yeah,
but you do find that big dogs and females
It's like
have
they think that the
weird
female,
relationships. Yeah, well they think that they own the female, which is like a bit of a problem in its own. But yeah, it's quite I don't
All
know.
right, Andrew Tate.
The dog.
Well, like what I meant by that is like you as a male coming into the house, if you're starting
you're a
a
threat
relationship,
to the dog.
You're a threat to the dog and his position in the house. Like he's not about it.
You're right.
Well, that's a red flag in itself. Maybe just male dogs.
That's why I just like to
'Cause you got
walk in
competition.
with a big motorbike helmet on and like a balaclava and really give a first impression to the dog.
I don't reckon it was being
How do
unlucky.
you fit the belly over the helmet?
Well, it goes belly then. Idiot. Come on. You ever rid a bike before?
Are you somewhat nervous in regards to the story with the Great Dane? What actually makes you more uncomfortable? Is it the fact that the dog is willingly having sex with this guy that's coming? Or is it the fact that this guy, without you even knowing, unsuspectingly, is creeping past your house constantly on a, multi-weekly basis?
I think.
And then there's someone there that you don't know. Because I think that's what really would creep me
Yeah,
out.
well, dogs hunt people all the time, so I think it's the
Yeah.
human that's obviously.
It's just in the dog's
I
nature.
mean,
It doesn't
yeah,
really
yeah.
have like a.
I can even take a perspective from the human's view and try and normalize it a little bit.
Please do.
I can-
Please normalize this.
Normalize rooting dog.
Like, I'm just saying, like, he's old. He's not hurting the dog.
The guy
from
was
what
old.
we
How
know.
old was this guy? Can you give us a
So
little bit of
I
like a
seen a
profile?
photo. I only seen the photo that the police put up on Facebook.
Was it like a security
It was-
camera?
yeah,
Like,
it was
did
like
they
a-
actually post?
So it was like a shit nighttime photo, like 11 p.m. Like, is anyone, like a side photo almost? Does anyone know this character? They didn't say the story in the post for good reason, obviously.
So what was the photo depicting? Him just
40,
walking down.
40 to 65. I'd say 45 to 65. Like grey, short hair, like weathered, like not fat or skinny, just probably like 80 kilos. Like
man
he
that's
just
been
looked
around
like
the traps.
yeah, he just looked like he's had his fair share of dirty threesomes in his life, and he wants to try new things. Like, when you get to that level of dirty threesomes, then
I think you're underestimating how many people have actually had threesomes in their life.
Well, I
I
reckon
know
this
that
guy's
I know that Jobe Jabroni's been a party to a few threesomes.
just one, to be honest.
Just one.
And I don't know if we should talk about that on this pod, actually.
No.
Maybe.
Why not?
Maybe
I think
later.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Can we circle back? Ben,
that-
can we get a reminder when we hit a flat spot?
We'll get a
later on
reminder.
about retention.
Yeah, about
Have
retention.
to squeeze that one out of you, I reckon.
Yeah, I
I think it'll
thought
squeeze himself out of that.
that one was a month ago, so still
The good
fresh.
thing is that Jobe Jabroni doesn't have social media. So not only will this not be shared within Jobe himself,
I won't see this ever. No. No.
if you haven't got him on Snapchat, it doesn't exist.
Yeah. If you want to add me, you can't.
It's
It's that simple.
irrefutably sexy, man.
Yeah.
It is unavailable.
For now, there is plans in the future. I don't know, maybe a co-host of what's this podcast called?
That's exactly how we want it.
Yeah.
Off Jobe Jabroni's radar.
Joe Jabroni's segment of
Let's Make It Worse podcast now
You
presents.
just made it a little bit worse. Good job.
hell yeah.
That's what
It's
it's
in
all
the name.
about.
It's in the
Anyway.
name.
But yes, we have spoken a little bit about how we will cut to 3 minutes in the wild with Jobe Jabroni at some given stage.
I think it'll be a cool segment.
David Attenborough's going to die soon, so we'll probably get onto it.
I think my voice is a little too croaky for that. Yeah, and I'm constantly under the influence of having a good time. It's contagious.
What defines a good time to you, Jobe?
I'd say just freedom, to be honest. You know, just like the war room.
The war room.
Elaborate. Shout out Andrew Tate for the war room.
no.
No.
Price is going up, guys. I reckon get in now because every month it goes up.
Speaking of, and now this is pretty hot, and I have been sending this to Angus for a little bit now. Not a lot of people know him. There's a kid from Adelaide. His name's Krogman, I believe. He just has this insatiable want and desire to be famous and to be Instagram famous. We fucking achieved it. Because what's happened recently, he started this channel and all he wanted to do was get big. He started 2 things that he was doing. One, couldn't pay his rent, so he was going to a online gambling place and going, can't afford my rent, here's half the rent, let's see if I can double it and pay my rent.
Respect.
The other one was days of fighting random followers that he's got. I'm going to give you
Oh,
some
yeah, that
shout
is
out
the
because
best.
I love this kid. He is legit.
But how is he getting those fights with Edgy and Andrew Tate?
Yeah,
like,
he's
I
big
reckon
enough.
little... Oh, is he from Australia?
Yeah, he's from Adelaide.
Oh, say
And
less.
he's like, and it would have been a few weeks ago.
Yeah, it's like
he was
2 weeks.
homeless in Melbourne, and then somehow he went
He's
from homeless
flying
in
to
Melbourne
America.
to he's flying to Europe. He's in Europe, and this story is like it's spellbound me because I actually rate it highly. He's not like he's just a kid. And he would be 20, 21.
He literally just looks like a normal...
Yeah,
Like a
I've seen
normal
him, yeah.
kid, and he's just like fighting followers. He can't box to save his life, and that is
sucks.
absolutely fine because I can't box either, and I actually train, sort of, kind of, whatever. But yeah, he just rolls up with boxing gloves, and they've got an in-depth like video of the BTS, and then
I've seen
goes
it.
into it,
I've seen it.
and they really blew up when he chucked on the gloves and fought in front of the Eiffel Tower.
Oh, he
Great
got
backdrop.
arrested, didn't he?
Yeah, well, he actually got arrested in Rome when he
yeah,
did
that's
it in
it.
front of
The
like,
Colosseum,
in front of the
yeah.
Colosseum. And the
Gladiator.
the Italians were like, if you post while you're in this country, we're going to keep you captive pretty much. Like, not on, we're not about it.
What about?
So he had to wait until he left. But one of the best things was when he fought in front of Buckingham Palace, he had Deji, which is an Instagram famous guy from the UK.
Love him.
He fought in front of that.
That was cool. I
In
watched that one.
Buckingham Palace, and then he got a message or a notification on Twitter from Andrew Tate. We've been talking about him a little bit now, so I thought it was current to be what we've been speaking about. But Andrew Tate messaged him, and obviously in the background behind those messages, he was like, "All right, come out to Romania. I'll bring you to the compound, and we'll have a fight in the compound." And like they have this kid walking into the compound where Andrew Tate lived in Romania. And just as a side note, Andrew Tate flew him out on a private jet, which was fucking pretty cool.
He's
Very
rich.
cool for just a kid from Adelaide that was homeless a couple of weeks before. And like Andrew Tate obviously went very easy on him on the boxing
He still
skill.
I don't think he
destroys
did.
him. He wrecks him.
Yeah,
he fucked him up.
Yeah,
but
but
he
he
could have
sort of
fucked him up a lot.
Yeah, he
Oh,
could've.
but then it would have been to the point of like abuse.
Yeah, well, no, he knew what he was doing.
But the series is
Deji-
over if he gets knocked up. Fuck yeah.
The Deji fight was fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
Dude. How, like they both hit each other at the same time.
Yeah.
They both knock each other out, and then like Deji does a backflip trip. I watched that 10 times yesterday. It was sick.
I don't know.
I didn't know that
I
dude
feel
was
like
from Australia, but hey,
I've got a lot of time for someone that's you know, a
Being
lot of
an
people
idiot.
will run out and they'll say that we're trying to do something different. I spoke about it on episode 3, I think, with Jake Davis about Mr. Beast, which is one of your favourite guys in the
Shout
world.
out, Jimmy.
Is that- Shout out to my boy.
shout out my boy Jimmy. Put me on, dog.
He talks about, and any long-term listeners would have known this story already. He talks about you need to be the purple cow in the paddock. If you want something to stand out, you have to do something that.
And I feel like you
stands
got to take a lot of risk as well. Like the fact that he's homeless and he's just gone, fuck it.
Yeah.
Let's just film
Yeah.
something funny
That's what you
without
gotta do.
having any like. He doesn't know if he's
You just
going to
gotta
get rich
not
off
give
it
a
or anything.
Give a shit.
It's just
at the end
something that no normal
MA
person
plus
would do.
podcast.
It's 18 only. Yeah.
We can swear.
Well, fucking oath.
Just checking, eh?
I reckon you've said the C word probably half a dozen times already. Anyway.
Yeah.
But shout out to Krogman. Fuck, if this ever gets big enough, we would love to have him on here. He's an absolute G.
That would be
Yeah.
nice.
I thought he was an industry plant dude. I didn't know he was from
No,
Australia.
Yeah, Adelaide boy.
I just was like, how is this dude out of nowhere, Deji and Andrew Tate boxing?
But wouldn't you want to just see someone go
I
fight
would.
random people?
I would like the idea. I just thought
It's
like,
obviously very male
surely,
dominant
like, this is-
following. Like there
this
is
is-
nobody following Krogman. It's like a pink princess female.
Oh,
like
there
that.
might be. You never know.
Would you send it to your girlfriend, Angus?
I do.
I thought it was fucking
Do you actually?
hilarious.
Sometimes. I shout.
Shout out Angus's girlfriend.
Hey babe, look at
Hey,
these.
babe.
Look at the Eiffel Tower in the background.
I
Isn't
want
it
to see
pretty?
this guy get knocked the fuck out.
Knock the fuck out. No, I've got a lot of time for people doing something different.
Agreed.
I'm not saying that I'm doing anything different here because I am not. I've just got two fucked up little kids here next to me.
That's a bit different.
I'm a baby. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
You got me hooked on that, to be honest.
On what?
Hell yeah.
I don't reckon I even started to help.
No,
you.
you did because of the
you-
banana bread clip.
Hell yeah.
I just remember I hung out with you one night. You just all night. Like, you wouldn't say anything. We'd just be doing shit.
Said
You'd be
hell
like,
yeah. Yeah,
hell
it's
yeah.
infected my vocab as well.
Yeah, that and doggy. Doggy rolls through me too much these days.
Is that Marty?
You
though?
say that.
No,
you've always said that.
no, a bloke called Ben got me hooked on that. Doggy.
When?
There's a YouTuber. He's an Australian YouTuber. He just does like wildlife shit, and he just goes, "Oh, what's up, my doggies?" or something like that. I don't know. Caught me hooked.
Interesting.
Drives around in his Land Cruiser. I don't know.
How can you not get hooked by Marty saying it every 5
He
minutes?
never says dog.
Good. Yeah, he says doggy, all the
Doggy,
time.
does he?
I
Yeah,
don't,
doggy.
I've never heard him say that. I usually just hear him say,
Usually just says, I probably shouldn't tell you.
"Can you help me up the stairs?"
So we have our friend, and we do have strong plans on getting him on. It's about the right time, but he always has this one way to tell a story, and we love this man deeply. Probably shouldn't tell you this, but
Proceeds to tell you something
Fuck
you
it.
shouldn't be telling.
And then he'll take 30 minutes too long to
and you've
tell you
already
the
heard it
story.
10 times.
Yeah, and he told you the story last week.
All
Nah,
right,
he's
settle
not.
down. I don't think I want to come on.
nah, he's a top G. We love him. He's one of the boys we've been friends. Well,
He's the
I've
best.
been friends with him for 20
You
years.
should get him on this.
Are we still talking about Marty?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've only known him for 2 years maybe, but he's a trooper. The best,
He's a good man.
best,
He's not going to listen to this, so you don't have to
best
talk
tennis
much.
player I know. Best tennis player I know.
Thanks.
He's actually working his way back around the circuit at the moment.
Is he back
been
in Australia?
He's been, yeah, I think
Is
he
he
got back.
racing
He
the chair
tried
now?
to, he got stalled at the Gal bus, and then was trying to call the boys early in the morning.
Oh, that's what he said.
who's awake? I'm stuck.
Poor Marty.
Poor Marty. It was Monday morning too.
I didn't know he was racing now. What circuit is he on?
Racing? Wait, what?
He's back on the tennis circuit.
Oh, the tennis circuit. Which I meant like the NASCAR or something.
His legs don't work, brother.
Yeah, he's
Right.
got that thing for his child.
I've seen it before. It's like a joystick they have in the front. Just like
It's like a GameCube controller.
it's like a
Would that, be
joystick.
would that even be possible for a,
They have
for like
like
a
a
race car.
yeah, for a
They
race
have
car
like a
driver?
handle here they hang on to, and then the joystick here they push with like their wrist, and they can shred it up. I've seen it before. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't sit passenger.
I
with
would
them,
love for him to come to the snow. To be honest, like that would
on
be,
the
Have you
wheelchair.
seen those like 3-pronged like ski things that they sit on?
yeah, they're awesome.
Let's send him down on one of those.
I reckon he'd love it too.
Oh,
He's a man that loves adventure. I know he will get around it
Yeah.
at some point. So anybody that doesn't know our friendship group, that's we've had two very unfortunate accidents, which have been very sad in our existence. But we're very glad that we haven't had anybody die in our friendship group. We feel like we know a few other friendship groups that, you know, around Geelong that have unfortunately had people that have passed away in their friendship groups, which is very, very sad. So we are very blessed that we've had accidents with our friends that they haven't passed away and they're still with us, albeit that they are in a wheelchair now, but that has definitely not held them back.
Yeah.
And they are definitely trying to live life to the absolute fullest. So number one is Marty, who is in the wheelchair, playing wheelchair tennis for Australia. He's been to the Olympics. He went to, was it Beijing?
No, that was 2008. It
Or
was
Tokyo.
The Paralympics. I can't remember.
Yeah, it was Tokyo then.
I think it was
Was it? Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
just
it
Mirabel
was.
Street,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
It was. So Marty had a bit of an accident 10 years ago now, and Heath had an accident a couple of years ago. Again, another person that is larger than life that we would love to have on at some point. He's done a couple of podcasts talking about his injury and whatnot. So when the time is right, we will definitely have Heath on here. He was a professional skydiver and had a bit of an accident that we won't put his life down to that because he is so much more than that. He's a ripper bloke. Both of them absolute champions of blokes. We're not just being nice to our friends, we actually love them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck jumping out of planes, but that's crazy.
Yeah,
Do you reckon you could do it?
he did his first jump solo as well, which is pretty cool.
Sounds
Yeah,
like-
yes, he did.
Yeah,
It's
which is
elite.
unheard of.
I reckon I'd rather do it solo, to be honest.
Why?
I reckon I'd fear that I'd just pass out from fear and then just hit the deck without even waking up.
I just feel like you haven't
Oh, it's a
accomplished
hell of a way to
anything.
go.
If you jump in some dude's lap, like I feel like you're not quite there. You know, you need to jump out.
Did you feel like what's the word, emasculated when you don't feel like
No,
a
not
man
even-
if there's another man behind you controlling
It'd be
you?
like, yeah, I've been skydiving, but I literally
do
did
anything.
nothing.
Yeah.
I sat there and I paid $600 to say I've done it.
Is that how much it is?
I've never done it. I wouldn't know. But they
All right,
won't.
so we've got some stories anyway. And Jabroni, I think that you've got like a lot of stories that you'd love to go through, and I know that.
Something about sucking blood.
I wouldn't say I'd love to go through them.
Little Twilight Saga.
I have some stories I can tell you.
Something
yeah.
about-
we will, but like let's hold off on one of them because we've got to
Yeah,
decide.
I mean, no, I can go the whole pod without telling you them.
You can fucking tell what they are, and we would love for you to tell what they are.
Hey, you ring
But
the
we've
bell,
got
mate.
We've got our discussion point anyway, and we're at that part where we've got a few different ones from a few different write-ins, but our little short story is too old or just grown up. So she's 23 and he's 33. They
Too
met-
old.
You reckon too old off the bat?
No,
Maybe how long were they together? That's the
Oh,
concerning
okay,
question.
okay. Yeah, no, that's fine. I think they've just met. They met through friends, not on an app, not some sugar daddy situation. He plans actual dates, texts with purpose, and makes her feel calm, like a grown man energy. But when she tells her friends, the judgment rolls in. Isn't he too old for you? And that's kind of off.
It's gross.
I don't think it's shocking.
Yeah, I think
And now,
Oh, sorry, the story keeps going.
and now she's thinking, why is it weird when she's 23 and he's 33, but when it's flipped, it's not? Is it really about age, or is it the fact that he's emotionally available and doesn't want to waste anybody's time? And since when is knowing what you want a red flag to younger females?
She doesn't know what she wants. She's an idiot.
and if
She's
it was
23.
flipped, I would still kind of think it's weird.
It is weird regardless.
My last girlfriend was 8.5 years older. than me.
Weirdo. No. Well, I guess it just depends. Like, you'd have to meet them both to sort of understand whether this dude's
Yeah.
a creep or not.
Yeah.
There would be the scenarios where it's like, oh, yeah, it's different, but
But,
it
yeah.
works.
And girls do love to just put each other down, I feel. So, like, even if he wasn't 10 years older, they'd find something else why he's not
Angus,
the one.
if you were dating a girl 10 years older than you, what would I say? What were the two words that I would say to
I
you?
don't know, you'd probably
Is
be
she
like, give me
rich?
5 or something.
I'd say, hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
I think personally, 23 is too young to even be dating someone to commit your life to. I feel like it's going to hinder your personal growth so much.
But he's already personally grown.
On a
He's
20 on a-
33.
on a
No,
23-year-old.
The 23-year-old I'm talking
Yeah.
Oh,
about.
hinder her personal growth.
Well,
Well,
her-
what if they were close age to her?
Her or him, it doesn't matter. I think even if they're two 23-year-olds,
Well, my girlfriend's 22.
Yeah, but you're also 5?
Yeah, but he's saying that
I'm-
no personal growth can be.
I'm saying
I
they're
think the
hindering
personal
your
growth, like
personal
she-
growth.
yeah,
I'm not
okay.
saying it's just going to stop personal growth. I'm saying if you live on your own and you travel on your own and you wank on your own and you drink on your own, you'll grow.
Every day, baby.
You'll grow.
Can we get snaps?
What is the ideal fucking time to start dating?
I think 20.
I feel like you just say.
26, but this is just my opinion.
You
Angus.
just,
I'm not throwing facts or receipts at you.
No, these are just opinions. We're obviously
This
not
is just-
experts with
I'm
anything
not
that we
saying
say.
you're-
It's just a laugh, man.
These are just opinion
I
pieces.
think if you
They are.
I think if you fall in love, it doesn't matter what age you are, you shouldn't just pretend you're not in love with someone. You should give it a go.
Can I?
But I think the chemical brains are gonna also.
Well, when do you reckon your brain stops?
Aren't you at your
developing?
peak at like
Yeah.
22
No, I'm
or
not saying
23
like.
or something?
I'm saying like.
Isn't it downhill from there?
Yeah.
I'm saying even me saying this philosophy, I could in 7 months I could be dating someone, because you fall in love with them. Like this is a philosophy I believe. I'm not saying I follow it.
Angus, I used to say something to you a lot, and it used to really fucking piss you and Toby off.
It
Can
did.
you tell people what that was,
He
please?
always said, you what'd you say? You don't know anything until you're 25.
Hell yeah, he's smart.
But like to an extent, it's true. But I still feel like I don't know
fucking
anything.
hated it. You used to
Oh,
say
yeah,
to
I
other
fucking-
people around you, like,
I
this
despise it.
motherfucker, I'm gonna
Man,
kick
I've
him when
met
he's not
30-year-olds who I'm just like, man, you are fucking like,
Five.
you are
100%.
literally, it's like talking to a brick wall. And then I've met
Shout out Will
19-year-olds
Bryson.
that are
that
like,
was him before I was
19-year-olds
25.
that are
I
like,
couldn't have a
know their
conversation.
That was
shit,
me.
you know?
But you know what? Like, I actually have always really respected you and what you are able to do and what you bring to the party. Because you have a lot of skills that I don't. But in saying that, your stupidity has really grown up since after the age of 25.
It's still not the best.
It's still not the best, but it's one small step for man and one giant
Like
step
on
for
your
Angus.
25th birthday, your Neuralink just activates and goes, there you go, be smart.
I think on your 25th birthday, I shook your hand and said, I finally respect your opinion.
And I was like, now that you're over 30, I don't respect you.
Well, that's when depression kicks in.
It's been the best years of my life post 30, I reckon.
Because you're rich.
That is
I think best year of life is always the current one.
yeah, well, that's
Because you're
a good
still
way to
alive.
think.
That's how I like to live. Oh, that's a good way to think. But I just like to think as long as it doesn't matter if it's 3% or 10%, as long as you're improving your life every year, then you're doing all right.
That's a
true.
good,
That's what
wise
you was-
word.
Yeah, what you say.
1% better every
It
day.
doesn't matter if it's fucking 0.5%. As long as you're not going backwards,
Yeah.
then you're doing
It's
all
1%
right.
every day. What happens when you get to 100?
Well,
Exactly, it's over 100.
I was
You're just it. That's it.
It's pretty hard to gain
game over.
1% a day.
No,
Like,
it's-
that's impressive.
Well, but then
That means
then
you're
you're growing
double-
exponentially. At
but
a
that
point.
means
You are
you-
growing.
that
The
means in
1%
100
means
days.
less.
No, it means
Less
more.
and less. No, it means
means
less
more and
every day.
No, I would say, what is
Because you're
100% like an all-knowing God, basically,
Wait,
like
but-
absolutely shredded, is an absolute personality.
If you start at say
Rich.
100
Yeah.
points of something and you get 1% better the next day, you're at what?
Yeah,
101%.
the percentage is going to get lower.
No, it
Oh,
gets-
so
it
you
gets
can go
higher, it gets
higher
higher.
percentage.
It's
You can go higher than
exponential.
100.
So it means less and less every day?
1% of 101 is actually 1.01% or something. So like the more points you build, 1% is actually
hard.
getting more.
It's like going to the
Correct,
gym. You make your most of your gains in the first 3 months of when you go.
Do
Then
ya?
it gets harder.
Yeah,
Shit,
see
I'm just
the
going
motion
to
of
lock in for
growth.
3 months.
yeah,
then.
the beginning gain. As soon as someone starts going to gym, within like a
You
month,
see,
you
but
can
you
see
see,
differences.
a huge
So,
difference.
is
I'm
it-
gonna loop back around, and I'm gonna give a little bit of credit to this story here, and a little bit of my opinion, because I think it's a really important one. I have dated younger before, and I think it's really important for the older person in the relationship that you need to be sure that you're not jeopardizing this person's personality, because I feel like the younger person will take a lot of guidance from the older person.
Can I ask,
And by the way-
if someone under 25 doesn't know anything,
This is
have you
triggering-
dated someone under 25, Huda?
Yes,
This is triggering Angus because he's got a younger missus.
No.
but she also had the maturity of much older.
I
than
look
me,
at
and I'm
Yasmin as like
32,
a
so-
year younger than you. She's not fucking
Yeah, no,
younger
no.
than you. Who just talking about like 26-year-olds and 18-year-olds, you know?
Wait,
Well,
are you both 25?
Yeah.
Yeah. You thought I was like 30, didn't you?
I thought you guys were like around Brandon's age.
Who the fuck's Brandon?
Huda.
Who da? Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. So there is like another golden nugget within friends and whatnot. I don't think George ever really said it. George always calls me Brandon from the first episode. But a little golden nugget about my life is that the boys always call me Huda. My last name is Hudich. And that
Didn't
is,
even know
that,
that.
that's, what do you mean? But you don't have social media, I guess. But
What? Wait, what?
I thought they call, I thought it
I
was
initially thought your last name was actually Huda.
I thought
Yeah,
it was
right, there you
because
go.
you had such a big shaft. And that's what you call
it
it.
goes off two things. He's either got a big fucking
You wanna
nose
suck
or
on
he's
my
got a
Huda?
shaft. And apparently it's both.
Yeah, your nose or your shaft. Hey, I'm there with you with the nose, bro. She's a big one.
But
Unfortunately, the shaft isn't quite there.
lastly, I'm just linking about it to just finish off this question from the write-in. It's extremely important that the younger person keeps who they are and is able to develop their own personality, because someone is very impressionable under the age of 25, and you always just want someone to grow into their own. If they, especially as the older person, if they just become who you want them to be, they just become a yes person, and it's not.
You're talking about the younger person becoming a
Yeah,
yes person
yeah,
to the older,
yeah,
because
yeah,
they think they know better.
Yeah, I personally don't think having a yes person in your life is good. I surround myself with people like you, Angus, who
Just
argue
rip on you.
everything that I've ever
You
fucking
piece
said.
of shit.
No, you're not wrong. Yeah.
In that regard, as long as you're letting this person grow.
Yeah. You want them to
who
be
they wanna
autonomous. Like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And how was your experience with that? Did you find them looking up to you for too many things, or did they retain
I think
their
as the
own
older person,
personality?
you definitely have your own view of guidance, and conversations reflect with people or friends of my age about giving advice to somebody in their position. It's like I had a really good friend say to me, if you guide them in this area, I wish I had somebody that gave me this advice or gave me that advice at that age, because I went without it, and now I got to the age of 30 and I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. But if I had had a slight push in the right direction, to have thought about what I was doing, where I was going, then that would have been really good for me.
Yeah, that's like my brother. He's always been pretty good like that. He's 6 years older than me, but every mistake he makes, as soon as he makes it, he'll tell me, he'll be like, don't fucking do this.
How often do you listen to him?
Every time, honestly.
I fucking call that out.
Anytime he has a piece of advice that he truly regrets, and he tells me, like, I'll take his advice every time.
I always listen to Finn. I'll get in
he knows
trouble,
a lot, yeah.
and he'll be the first person I message.
Yeah.
I'll be like, "Hey, man."
But
like,
a lot of people wouldn't give you that. They'd fuck up and be like, I want to see someone else make the same fuck up. Like,
Angus, tell us a good thing that you've learned from your brother. Because
Not-
your brother's one of my best mates.
I'd say not to go to uni.
hell yeah.
It doesn't apply for everyone.
Doesn't
but
it? Yeah, no, it doesn't.
My old man taught me that one.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, he's like, "Don't be an idiot. Son.
What's Finn taught you?
You're not smart."
I could have gone without it.
Well, Finn, recently I had to message him. Would have been a few weeks ago.
Was this the old?
I actually want to know this
Wait.
full story, because I think I have an inkling of what this
this
story
is
is
circling
about.
back to.
This is circling back to the story I didn't want to tell, but
It's not the story that I
It's
was.
back.
Oh no, it is. It's good.
I had to I
You should just tell the whole thing.
okay, so I have my first threesome. Gross, I know, guys. It was almost rape. It was almost unconsensual.
Against you, I hope.
Against me, yeah. I should clarify that. But
Can we clarify? What's the combination? What are we going with here?
3 blokes.
two ladies, two ladies,
Hot
young,
dog fest.
two ladies, maybe a year or two younger than me. But anyway, all fun and games. I was probably on a high for a week after that. I was like, hell yeah.
Yeah, he said he couldn't watch
Can we
porn
take a
anymore.
step back? Can you tell us how you get into that situation in the first place? Because like for a lot of males, I'm going to be upfront. I've never been in a threesome.
We're just writing notes down.
I've got the phone.
Well,
I'm
like,
on airplane mode. Preserve battery.
There was zero trick to this, and it was almost out of a movie. I just wanted to meet up with one of them.
On the apps or
On the
what are we
apps,
talking?
on Hinge. I've been talking to her. I got her snaps, talking to her for a little bit, and I'm like, hey, no, she messaged me. I think she's like, what are you doing? It's probably midnight, and I'm like, I'm at my mates. There's about 10 of us here. She's like, I'll come over with my friend, and I was like, all right. She's like, my friend's hot, I swear, and I was like, it doesn't faze me. And she comes over, and her friend is hot. But like everyone I'm with is in a relationship, and I sleep with the one girl that I'm meant to sleep with, and her and her friend leave.
Wait, everyone you're with is in a relationship?
Like everyone that was at my house wasn't ready to sleep with this chick's friend.
Oh, yeah.
So I slept with the chick, and then they both left a couple hours later, and then messaged me, the chick, to come back to hers. And I'm like, all right, I'll just go crash at hers. And when I arrive at hers, they throw it on me. They always trap me in a room.
So you walk into this house. How does that play out?
I walk in and I sleep with the girl again for a second time.
What's the other girl doing?
The other girl's in a separate room on her own. Just didn't even know she's there. And then I'm in bed with this girl after I've slept with her, and the friend comes in and says that she can't sleep, and can she jump in bed with us?
Hell yeah.
Well, mate, it's 3 a.m. by this time, and like
You're like, can I just fucking go to sleep?
I've already,
Watson's not going to sleep either.
This was 3-day bender,
I did have 2 bags of rack and some Viagra on me, so
I was about to
attack in
say,
his pocket.
save some for the rest of us, big boy, but there we go. It was
yeah,
chemically altered.
I was able to stay up.
Heart
all night.
attack in the pocket is the best one.
If needed. If needed, I could have went all night, but I wanted bed. I'd already busted twice, and I could see the idea swirling in their heads. And then they both left the room and left me on this bed alone. And I remember laying there going like,
Why is it throbbing?
And then
Why is it burning?
the chick comes in.
I need an adult.
The chick comes in and she's just like, oh, and before she even said it, I was like, oh, fine. And she's like, you don't have to. And I was like, what kind of man would I be?
I do.
I was like, if I don't.
And that was the first time I said I do.
And yeah, we didn't do it once or twice. I think it was 3-4 hours I was trapped with 2 girls. And the poor dad was in the room next.
No!
Dad.
The chick that I went to see.
Did you say it was
The one that you went to see.
in the
the
cuck
chick I
chair?
went to see, her dad left.
In the next room.
Well, he left at 4:30 in the morning. We heard the garage door go up,
Yeah.
and
Do you reckon he went to play the pokies?
he left to leave the house to not hear his daughter getting
What? He
surrounded.
could hear it. That is so fucked up.
How fucked? I know.
Wait, but also this comes back to...
So this rolls back into 4 weeks later get a message off one of them that she's pregnant. So who do I hit up? This guy's brother, and he had all the answers.
We did.
Here's what
Like, we
Wait, so are we coming to the conclusion here that
no, the intermission of the story is like,
and this was
he
a
had a
month ago.
threesome and he knocked up one of
Yeah,
them.
but we were asking before. I said I'd get advice off my
So
brother.
yeah,
Saying
I
would
needed
tell-
advice. I'm in a shit spot. I hit up this guy's brother. Boy, did he have the advice for me. And he was laying in bed. He told me he was laying in bed with
Were
a
you
girl.
FaceTiming you?
Well, I sent him a video, and I'm like, bro, I've knocked a chick up. I know you know what to do. And apparently he's opened it, laying in bed with a girl, and she's looked at him and gone like, is he taking the piss?
I was in the supermarket when I opened that video. I lost it.
Yeah, it was shit. It was a stressful weekend, that one, actually, but I paid my way out of it. So,
He only paid half.
yeah. Finn told me to pay all of it, and I'm like, fuck that.
wow, it takes 2 to tango.
Yeah.
So a conversation.
Well, 3 in this case.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a conversation often plays off in males' heads and male rounds of conversation here is, how do you know that she was pregnant, and how do you know that she just wasn't trying to get $500?
Well, I reckon it'd be easy. You
100%.
could charge someone more than $500 just to fuck him. So I feel like
So she was a smoke show as well. She wasn't like an old sock. She was pretty odd. But don't get me wrong, straight away my brain goes like, you trying to fucking take me for a Mickey? Like,
you would have tried to see through it straight away. 100%.
I'm the master of deception, so you're not going to deceive me, you know.
I just feel like it's a really hard route to make $500.
Well, I just thought like $400, like take it. I don't want to see you again. Is what I mean. That sounds bad. I did want to see her again, but
Not after that.
not after that. Not after she extorted me for $400, bitch. You're lucky I don't name.
Well, you
drop.
did. Well, we believe that you planted a seed.
Well, and I was quite worried. I was sterile from all the drug abuse.
1 week prior, he's bragging about how he's got dead swimmers and he can do whatever he wants. Of course.
And here we go.
I've been laying seeds all over you, love.
But that's what you get for playing the game, really.
How many other Joe Jabronis are out there?
Yeah, well, actually, I seen an ad today on Snapchat. Yeah, it was giving me prices for sperm donation.
It's listening.
$150 per donation, and you can donate twice a week. They reckon.
What? How many?
Get
So
out.
if someone did that for
Get out.
They said a lot of clinics allow you to donate twice a week. I read it all today.
Why
Someone
would you
does
not
that-
do that?
If you did that
Why
for
wouldn't
a
everyone?
year,
And they were giving me the math. They're like, if you donate twice a week for the year, you'll make 10 grand.
There'd be like thousands if you're running around.
So
with your
there is actually a big thing on this, and there was a Netflix special on it, probably I think last year. For those that haven't seen it, it sounds like you guys haven't. That there was a guy, a serial sperm donor.
yeah.
No, and it's
that
got
was
like hundreds of
fucked.
kids. Or
He's
whatever.
got hundreds of kids, and it actually poses a serious threat.
Yeah,
to
for like
society.
inbreeding and
For
stuff.
inbreeding, yes,
Yeah.
because and it's a lot of people don't realize this, and it kind of blew my mind. But when they were talking about it on the Netflix special about it, is that they were saying, if you got a chalk one, mate, you got to chalk me one.
You want one?
Yes, please.
And I swear that the guy's genetics were like the worst. Like, did they see photos of this dude?
Well, he was like the thing was he looked good as a youngster.
Yeah, but it was like this was like 10 years later, or so. Wasn't he using old photos or something? Like
Yeah, well, like photos of him as a kid. So the big thing
Oh.
is with the interbreeding is what you and whatnot is what you'll say is that when you meet somebody that you don't know and you're actually related to them, you feel like you've got a bond to them, like a mental bond to them, because they're your relative. So the problem with that is that if you meet somebody and you don't know that they're your relative,
You won't
then
know why you feel that.
correct, 100%. And that was a big thing. And that was one of the links to this Netflix special, that people had met each other and they were like, I felt really strongly to this person, realizing that they actually ended up.
There's like natural like things though. Like I'm pretty sure you're not meant to be like if you smell a relative's pheromones or something, it should put you off. Have you heard that? In biology and stuff, it's like a thing between all fucking.
My cousin smelled pretty nice one time.
I actually know an acquaintance of mine who ended up in a relationship with their stepbrother.
Knowingly? Well, stepbrother,
they
you're
didn't
not.
know.
Stepbrother,
No,
you're
they're not.
related.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Although they were judged quite harshly from.
Well, it's a bit weird,
But
but it's
they-
not
they
like
knew
it
that
wouldn't
they were
result in inbreeding at least.
I think they knew before they were together, but it was kind of late in the piece.
Yeah.
And then what did they do?
No, they got together
stayed
anyway.
together.
So they're very happy together. They're quite a great couple.
Well, imagine if you were dating someone, right? And then your parents and their parents got together, and then even though you were dating first, you'd still be step siblings.
Well, I think if you didn't grow up together, then you'd be right. I think being a stepbrother or stepsister doesn't matter if you're not growing up in a household where they're like your sibling.
Yeah,
Like if you
growing
didn't
up
know.
together is a little bit messed.
Like if you were 9 years old living together, and by the time you're 18 you're sleeping together, it's like
Yeah,
that's,
it'd be
you
Well,
know,
yeah, that's
fuck.
just incest.
that's a little bit of a Stephen King novel there. Jeez, I watched this movie last night. It's called Night Swim.
Yeah, how
Now,
good is it?
it's so shit, and now I'm scared to go. I
God,
sleep.
you have the worst tasted movie.
I sleep looking at my pool, so now I have to sleep with my blinds.
Well, it
down
was
for the
shit
rest
because you were scared.
now I can't sleep looking at
Are
my
you
pool.
scared of horror movies?
Yeah, he's fucking
I'm
pussy.
petrified of them. Like Toy Story 3 scared me a little bit. Harry Potter, Prisoner of Azkaban, that's about as scary as
Oh,
I
the
can
Dementors
go.
were pretty scary.
That movie is scary.
That werewolf in that movie.
That
Yeah.
werewolf transformation is the best.
It really was great for its time too. CGI in the mid 2000s.
I reckon CGI's got worse as time's gone on. I watched
Certainly
I
has.
watched the Lord of the Rings trilogy the other day, and that shit is elite.
Looks
and it's,
incredible.
and it's old.
And then
You watch
the
new
Hobbit.
Marvel
The
movies?
Hobbit. Big thumbs
Crap.
down.
Yeah.
Big thumbs down.
I thought The Hobbit was quite comical. Like, it was a funny movie, but I
See,
didn't think it...
Yeah, but you don't-
taste is shit.
I didn't
you
think
don't
it was,
get
I didn't think
into-
it was as good as the original thingies, but I don't think it was a shit
Yeah, but-
movie.
It
is what I'm saying.
It was fucking shit.
You don't think it was?
I'm saying,
See, his movie
I'm
taste
saying
is
it was
fucking
nothing.
trash.
It was nothing like the OG sequel, Lord of the Rings saga, but it was a cool movie to watch. If you'd never seen Lord of the Rings in your life, you wouldn't say it was a shit.
See, that's like The Hobbit to me is like a absolutely disgustingly hungover, falling asleep on the couch, chucking on.
I reckon
to
Lord of the
fall
Rings
asleep
is that, and it makes you feel good.
I don't know that.
The Hobbit.
No, but like I'm saying to fall asleep to. I wouldn't want to fall asleep.
I like to fall asleep to stuff that's good.
Oi, but speaking of hobbits and
Valid.
and Lord of the Rings and creatures and all that good stuff,
Goblins and
Vampires.
this was a story that I was going to link
Sorry for my brief intermission, boys. I
all right.
actually
It's
do
open
have
the
the
window.
weakest bladder.
Everyone
in
has
the,
it.
the whole area of.
that IBS
Oh,
playing.
we
up.
didn't have to pause. We
actually
kept
didn't have
going.
to pause because I realised that I was probably the only one that needed to go to the toilet. But all I wanted to be able to do was this.
You smoking again? Anyway, you've come back at the right time, Hooter, because it's story
Story
time.
time.
Vampires.
Sit down for Uncle Jabroni.
So, growing up, I had a friend. He was a dark-skinned friend. Can't remember his nationality completely, but I was probably 19. He was 17, 18, still in school, and one day he just disappears for like a month. None of us hear anything from him, and he comes back a month later, and I meet up with my friend, and his teeth have been grinded.
They've been what?
Grinded.
Grinded.
Or shaved, or according to him, transformed into vampire teeth. So he had fangs that had been grinded into his mouth, which I've seen done before. It's like professionally,
Like a dental
but
procedure.
it would cost a lot of money to be done by a dentist. But yeah, he comes back after.
Did
a
he
month.
have the cash? Do you reckon he did?
No, he didn't have the cash.
Home job.
No, I don't know. But he comes back and he's telling me that his brother's a vampire. His brother lives in Melbourne. This is outside of Melbourne.
Because you didn't grow up down here, did you?
No, I grew up in an undisclosed town we won't name.
Starts with B.
I grew up in Ballarat. Anyway, this kid, he tells me he's a vampire, and like it's creeping me out, and his teeth are creeping me out. And then he shows me on his back. He's got a bite mark on his back that
Like actual bite
a
marks.
human jaw has bitten this kid's back.
Okay, so my first question is, like, with all of this, every you could drag louder. All these questions are like around the vampire sort of story here. Did we have two sharp insertions on the back, or are they also vampires? Or
It's
they
like a
just
full
all,
bite, like full
So-
every two.
I know there's like a kink subculture for it.
So this kid's not even 18. Like, he's 17.
Oh, jeez.
And the bite mark on his back looked like it was weeks old, but you could still visibly see the teeth,
the bruise,
like a fossil almost on his back. Like, you could see the jaw,
like an imprint.
a jaw imprint on his back. And he tried to tell me that his brother's bitten him because when he turns 18, he's going to turn into a full vampire. And if you're not bitten before you're 18, when you're bitten, you just die. Like, they just kill you. But if you're younger than 18,
See, this is why I talk about if you're under the age of 25,
You don't know
you're a fucking moron.
and I
This is a very good example of that.
bitten,
Very good example.
I should note this kid was taking a lot of Adderall at school,
If you should die before you wake.
but he was so convincing, and like obviously we don't believe what
And
he's saying.
Adderall.
Jabroni actually believed him. At
Adderall,
first.
Ritalin. No, at the start we didn't believe him, but after hours of just trying to crack this kid, he
And
just
a lot of fucking Twilight that's happening at this time as well.
yeah. This was around Twilight
Was it?
stage, so I'm not trying to promote vampires here by any case, but this poor kid, he'd also show me photos of buildings that he claims don't exist on Earth because he could go on a train and everyone else on the train would go stagnant, but he would go to another realm, and only the vampires would go to this realm.
It's called Tani.
Pretty much. But yeah,
What happens in the West?
this poor kid had lost it. So we just stopped hanging out with him. We're like if
They
you're not
consider it
if you're not going to break vampire character, then like,
Get away from
'Cause,
people
you know,
who aren't vampires.
you're in a situation where it's like, even if you are a
So
real
if
vampire,
he's tripping balls about this whole vampire situation and it's made up and blah blah blah, then who the fuck bit his back?
but no, he's not even tripping balls. He's visibly scary, visibly like no emotion. He's just like pale
Yeah, but he's
face,
delusional.
and he would claim that he has more knowledge now and shit. Like he was off.
Did he
his,
have more knowledge though?
he was off his fucking rocker. He was not.
But who bit him?
Well, he claims his brother bit him because his brother's a vampire. But we stop hanging out with him, and he starts rocking up to my house like uninvited and saying that I've told him to come.
Don't
there.
invite him in.
Yeah,
Legit.
maybe that's why he did that.
Well, who knows? But like, I'm not even home, and he's rocking up and telling my housemate's missus, who is home, like that he's been invited over. So he'd come inside and sit there, and he like would hit on my housemate's missus, who like is her boyfriend lives in that house. They sleep in the same bed. Like, he owns the house, and she'd be like, "I have a boyfriend."
So did he know only you or them?
No,
as
he
well?
knew that she had a missus. Like, he was just off his rocker. But yeah, we had to get his parents involved, and they sent him to doctors and psychs and that, and he just never broke character ever.
Where's he at now?
Like,
He's in the Vampire Diaries. It's coming out 2026.
I think he's in. Yeah, I think he's got a new deal with The Walking Dead. I think they're signing up a new season with vampires that he's in.
If you really tried hard, do you reckon you could track this person down?
I know his name's Taffy. His last name I don't know, but he's black. His name's Taffy. I could track him
Where
down
is
for
he?
sure.
Maybe he's watching.
I doubt it. I reckon he's in some loony bin somewhere. But it was crazy. Like, it was so believable that I was, and I'm young. I'm 20, so I'm like, maybe this cunt is a vampire. Like,
25.
and I just remember.
Under 25, you are so susceptible to stupidity.
I just remember thinking to myself, like, fuck, even if he is a vampire, like, we can't be friends.
Was there
anymore.
anything you ever did that sort of like had you sold?
Everything he
I
did.
want to suck your
Everything,
blood.
like, everything he did. The bite mark, the teeth, like the fangs were crazy. And he was a night person, I'll tell you that. Like, only ever come to my house at 11 o'clock at night.
It's called.
Nah, see, he wasn't cool enough for meth. He was just snorting Ritalin at school and that. But
Same thing.
a year later, I run into a friend of his, and apparently there's a Melbourne underground vampire scene.
This is what Benny was just saying.
Yeah, he said it was like a king thing.
Yeah.
He's a king.
Well, like, by the scene, I think they genuinely try to to portray and trick themselves to a degree that they're vampires.
Were they all that cooked? Like how many?
Well, like
how many
they-
vampires are in Melbourne or whatever.
Well,
Is it
Benny
Melbourne?
sounds like he knows.
Benny's in
Well,
the
I know
book.
of the subculture.
No,
Tell us more about the vampires.
I'm not associated with it.
But Craig,
You didn't see
you're gonna have to start.
Angus,
revealing
tell us.
yourself on the pod.
Angus, tell us about the tattooing and the love of creation of the art that you currently have going.
I don't know, I've just always loved drawing, I suppose, and yeah, just trying to make my way to a job doing that. I
What's
guess.
been your favourite? Because you've got a page. It's called Schwindings.
Yeah. I don't know. It's got a bit of stuff. I'm still sort of on the way. Like I'm not really proud of anything I've made yet. But I don't know. It's just it's a work in progress.
Artist
I
is
suppose.
always their own harshest critic.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, you put up something recently, and it was the Jesus fencing the devil.
Oh yeah.
Fuck,
That's
brilliant, mate.
sick. That'll make a great.
And you also have one that it will be forever lasting in my brain.
one's
Is
that?
the image of someone punching cones.
Oh yeah. The traffic cones having a punch on.
That's
Punching
Yeah.
cones.
I tattooed that on
brilliant.
Cicada.
Did ya?
Yeah, he loves it. It's on his leg.
I reckon that's top shelf.
is this teacher Cicada?
I don't know. Is Cicada a teacher? No, he's a cabinet maker.
Oh,
Is Cicada is
It's a kid or a teacher.
Or is there a teacher that is Cicada?
he the teacher?
yeah, I had
of
a teacher,
wisdom?
Mr. Cicada. It was also the Cicada meets Cicada.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Cicada is a teacher. He certainly is of wisdom. He's got a little bit of wisdom to give. You don't want to go on with that, Angus, at all?
No, honestly, not really.
Why?
Because it's not something I'm proud of yet.
Promote the
Why?
art, bro.
You'll get there.
I'm just.
It's
throwing
about,
it.
the,
pushing.
it's about the progress, though.
Well,
And,
yeah,
like, you're never
I
going to be
can-
good at something straight away.
I mean, the fact that you've already made a thing of Jesus fencing the devil and a guy punching a traffic, that's
So impressive.
genius creativity there.
Well,
If
I've
the
done-
drawings are as good as what I'm imagining, you're on your way. You're on your
But
way.
I've done every tattoo on this man. Like
Really?
it's basically how I've learned.
Even the neck one.
All of this.
His dad wasn't very happy with that.
Yeah, I bet.
No, it wasn't. It stands for. I can't remember, to be honest.
I nearly got one a couple of weeks ago on my neck and I pussied out
Bro.
on the table.
Did you?
Bro.
Yeah, he
What
was
was it going to be?
I was going to get 13.
Which is actually an interesting story,
Unlucky
Benny.
number.
Can you tell us the story of you wussing out on the couch or on the bench in front of a whole lot of people? It was after a convention.
No. So this was like a couple of weeks after that.
Okay,
but
right.
I was incredibly hungover. I played a big show the night before, and I was all hyped up and thinking I was pretty cool. And then I saw bless, and they had like the flash tattoos, and there was like a 13 in like old English writing, and I was just like, oh. And then my mate was just like, oh, get it on your neck behind your ear. And I was like, oh, should I? Oh.
Wait, is that what you
like
went in-
still probably mad drunk. Like it's like
Yeah.
9 a.m. and
Yeah.
we like finished up at like 3 a.m. or something. So,
Yeah.
and then I sat down on the table, and the thing was there. The stencil was on my neck, and then and he goes in for it just as about to touch the skin. I'm just like, whoa, sorry, mate. I actually had this overwhelmingness of like dizzy and panic over me.
I can hear my mum in the back of my
Yeah, and I was like,
In the back of my head.
I was like,
Benjamin.
I really need to think about this more, and this is like the panic was a
Idiot.
sign to be like,
Don't do it.
don't
What's
do
that
it.
thing, mate?
And I was like, but the tattoo artist was a real prick about it because I was like,
Oh, really?
like a good artist would just be like, oh, dude, like if you're not
Yeah,
gonna,
you
if you feel uneasy about something permanent on you, I get it. You're all good. Think
Yeah.
about it. Come back if you want it.
100%.
But he was just like, bro, what? And he like gave me this fucking look like you
Did you have to
fucked up
pay
my
like a
day.
deposit or something?
No.
That's right.
What was it?
Like,
Kick-ons?
I wanted to get this that's on my neck. I wanted it up here and just visible, and this cunt's just like, what about your neck?
See, I guess your what do you call it? Your like impulsive radar is like a little bit more.
I just finished work one day
Wacko
and I
than
called him
mine.
up, and I'm like, I'm feeling like a bad boy today.
I actually imagine that happens quite a bit with Jabroni calling you Angus.
Yeah, he'll
Yeah.
come over and just be like, tattoo me now.
Yeah.
I'll be hungover and stuff. I won't want to do
Sometimes
it.
haven't even picked it out yet. I rock up and I'm like, give me 15 minutes, man. Scroll something. Love my anime
Yeah,
tats.
they're getting better though. I think
Yeah.
the most recent one was decent.
It is. We won't
Talk
show
us through
it.
the most recent one.
It's an angel with scary teeth. It's cool. It's a really cool tattoo. It's one of my favorites.
You've got a theme on the sleeve that you're building at the moment. We're not going to go
it's
through
just
it.
all
but-
anime.
It's just a lot of anime. Love anime. Shout out the Japanese story writers. They're
What's
fucking
your
elite.
top 3 animes?
Top 3 would be Solo Leveling, One Piece, and then maybe the third one's a fucking tough call. Those 2 are definitely top 2, and the third one could be a majority of things, but I'm just going to say Black Clover.
What I love about that is that there's no top like super popular animes in there, and in the anime world there probably is some.
One Piece is pretty.
But like the top animes that I would pick out,
Well,
someone would be like Dragon Ball.
Well,
Or
like,
like
I
Death
have-
Note would be the more sort of, I guess, mature
A lot
pick
of
for a lot
chicks
of
like
people.
Death Note. It's crazy.
I didn't mind it. That's the only anime I
like
watched.
Death Note. Death Note's a really mental. I like the animes that'll will make you like psychotic almost.
Excellent.
Death Note, you'll sit there and be like, holy shit, I reckon I can stab someone. It's a crazy anime. I like the animes though where the main character is a loser and starts off as a wimp essentially, and then becomes that hero that's unstoppable.
Have you seen the Cyberpunk anime?
I've seen the game.
Yeah, they made a show, an anime out of the game, and it's genuinely really fucking good. I'm not usually into like video game to like show or movie adaptations.
They fuck it up a lot.
But yeah, Cyberpunk. It's really good.
Jabroni, is that self-reflective though? The loser that turns into the hero.
Are you a loser?
Were you a loser?
I just a lot of animes are built.
You're
that
one
way.
of my heroes.
Like a lot of animes are built where the protagonist is a goofy, humble character that at the start cannot beat. You know, he's not the strongest, but he becomes the strongest.
So you're one of those 2 things. I'll let you decide which one of those 2 you are.
I feel like there are a lot of them are my spirit animals. Yeah, a lot of protagonists in anime. I wish I was them. You know,
That's fair.
I wish my hair was purple and spiky, but it's not.
We can make that happen.
It's possible.
Hey, I hit up my stylist before the pod. I'm like, can we get these plaits going? And she's like, no.
Who was that?
I'm not going to call her out, to be honest. She doesn't deserve
She
a
lives in
shout out the
she
bitch.
goes to a different school. You wouldn't know it.
Yeah,
She's recently gone through an abortion, unfortunately.
yeah.
Still recovering.
I wanted to come in with pink beads in my hair because I have long hair. You just don't get to see it, but it's long.
We're going to flick over to another story now.
Story time.
Love story time.
And yeah, we fucking love story time here. And
Give me some stores.
the Talanom stories that we get through dropped. They're very frequent at the moment. A lot of them are just conversation pieces. A lot of insults. If we could stop those, that'd be great.
Racist, I hope. Or
Nah, not a lot of insults at all. But just a lot of like talking pieces about nonsensical stuff. Thank you, Angus. That we're trying to just form into discussion points, which a lot of them are, but very short form. But this one is a little bit longer of one that we get. So an anonymous story write-in, which was the story and the Netflix suggestion that turned into an invite. So I actually find this one super interesting because as a male, this happens a lot more. I don't feel like it ever comes from a female point of view, and it only ever comes from a male. So this is where the story starts. So I followed the guy on Instagram, someone I'd seen around through friends of friends, thought he was always cute. He was a good vibe. He seemed normal. We'd met a couple of times, but we're never close enough to actually
bone.
Yeah, pretty much. We start chatting in the DMs, a little bit of light flirting, nothing over the top. At one point, I mentioned a show that I was watching on Netflix, just in conversation. It was casual. I said something like, you should check it out. It's actually very good. He goes, haha, maybe you should come around and watch it with me. Now, I know what that means. We all do. It's not about the show anymore, and I get it. It's 2025. I'm not 15, and sometimes things are casual. But I genuinely thought that we were vibing, and I wasn't trying to line up a midweek booty call. I actually wanted to get to know him. So now I'm stuck wondering, was he always just angling for a hookup, and I missed the signs? Is there any way to pull this back and reset the tone? Or once it's come over and watch Netflix territory, is that it? So let's start at the top. Was he always angling for the hookup and she missed the signs?
Yes.
Is this a conversation with you and a lady?
No, this is just a
No,
random.
it's a
like, writing.
I was just double checking that this wasn't a Hooter experience.
Has the angle been missed and missed the signs?
No. Every scenario is different.
So wait, so this guy, whose idea was it? Like, who suggested?
So
the
she
show?
has mentioned that there is a show on Netflix.
Yeah.
And then she sort of said that it's good. You should watch it. And he said, come around and watch it with me.
Oh, well, yeah, well, like
It's a very-
I would say that he thought she was trying to set it up by saying we should watch this
Exactly.
together.
Exactly. There's so many.
Why would you mention a show to someone
There's
if
too
you didn't
many
want to watch it
variables.
with them?
Yeah.
Well, I actually don't mind that because it's like,
But also, like, surely you've all done it as well.
Well, yeah,
you know, you invite someone who it's like,
Yeah.
the show is of mild interest.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
There's a
yeah.
good chance that he's sent that message with his hand on his hog. You know, like
he's got a point.
there's a good chance.
But I think she was the one to sort of leave an open invitation by.
is it a good way for him to do it? Like, he felt like there's a door open.
Well,
to
yeah,
that.
because she was the one that sort of mentioned that
He
she might
hasn't
be going to
exactly
watch
hit
the
her
show.
up with Netflix. Hey, come over for Netflix and chill.
Yeah, because she was the one that
Oh,
mentioned the Netflix.
how-
Do you know what
Is
shits
that
me up the
fucking
wall though?
happen?
Is that no one's fucking honest with each other anymore. Can't you just say, "Oh, what?" Like, so you know, if I was her, it's just like, "Hey, but we're not fucking."
Yeah.
And it's like, "Oh, cool, no worries."
Did
Like,
they end
that's
up
cool.
watching it together? Was she wanting to?
There is no evidence of anything
Well-
past. But it sounds like from this story that like that's cut off at the knees there.
like I've been in the chick scenario there.
You've been in the female scenario,
Where-
girl hitting you up for Netflix and chill.
where I'm going over to her house to watch a movie, and I'll say to her, I'll be like, "Hey, I'm just letting you know, I'm coming over to watch a movie," but also I'm lying to her.
Well, I think that's always baseline though. You don't go, okay, sweet Netflix, let's.
No,
read."
but some people will just be like, "Yeah, I'll
It's
come
the hidden
over."
meaning, and I think that
I think it's just a safe spot to start, and then you can both see where it goes.
You never
Yeah.
want to. I'm never going.
Well,
to
if it's
a girl's
uncomfortable,
house.
it's uncomfortable. But generally, if you're going on a whim to someone's house in
watch
the
a movie.
night time to watch a movie,
Yeah.
we do love it for
there
like,
might be a bit of. You might even get
Yeah.
to watching the movie, but
Yeah.
there might be some dessert. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, 100%. But I like to lie to them and make them think that I'm coming over to
watch
just
a
watch a
movie,
fucking
but you
movie.
know,
And
But
then,
I think that
then they catch a surprise.
But I think that's the idea. If as a male or as a female, if you're saying that, you're not being sexually suggestive about that way. It's a very casual way of putting it.
Well, I don't think either of them were being suggestive. He just goes, she likes this show. You
she
wanna
sounds
come
like a
watch
bit
it
of a
with me?"
bitch, to be honest.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I
What's
think
her
that's-
name?
I
I
think we're
feel like
clutching at straws. Here.
It was from the Talenum text line, which we have freely open. We love getting them, and for some reason, they all seem to be female, like write-ins.
Just the
And
same.
we would love some male ones.
oh, they're probably
from a
just
male
all your
perspective.
ex. It's all just your ex misses, right?
Rest in paradise relationship.
So I hung out with this guy once. You don't remember any of these stories?
I feel like that story's
Jack,
happened with everyone.
You were the one who shit the bed.
Joe, these are all about you. That was a very good part where.
What are your thoughts on it, Hootie? Do you think the guy was just a horny devil? Is that
No, I think
what she was getting at?
I think that it was actually very well played by him. To be completely honest.
Well, did
Yeah.
it work? That's
Well,
the
there
golden
is no
question.
suggestion that anything, and I think that I'm going to assume that it's a female that's writing in here, because it's he.
Well, it's
but-
not discriminating.
Well, it's not discriminating, but it sounds from those suggestions of now I'm stuck wondering, was he always angling for a hookup? It seems like he didn't go through.
Well, if you're on was this on a dating app?
it doesn't
if there's
say.
if there's a dude on a dating app, of course they're angling for a hookup.
No,
It's-
hang on. I followed him on Instagram, so it was not on a dating app. I followed him on Instagram. She's seen everything. They know each other through friends.
Yeah.
I bet you that guy.
Well, I honestly think that if any dude who's talking to a female, their initial angle is they want to have sex.
How do you feel? How do you feel if somebody hits you up for that? Is that pretty intentional of direction of what you think about them as well, though?
Well, you can't prove it, so it's sort of just a smart play, I suppose.
But are you probably angling that from this point of view? The person that's the write-in was hoping that the person that she's talking about was coming from, hey, ask me out on a date. They haven't been asked out on a date. And they've just been head up with Netflix and chill, essentially, is what we're summarizing as. And they're taking a shot of confidence.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Not like this comes back to the last point of their question when they said, "Can this be salvaged?" I don't think there's anything wrong with your first sort of like together, sort of like
Yeah, like,
meet
why
up.
she
I don't think there's anything wrong
Yeah.
in banging on the first date. I don't think this is a shocking thing. Like,
And like, why does a first date have to be romantic dinner or something?
No, no, it doesn't.
Like,
Like if you vibe, you
And is
vibe.
she feeling she blew it somehow?
No, I think that the person that she's talking about is giving clear intention that he never had. I'm just gonna say he. It's easier. He never had clear intention of actually taking me out on a date. He clearly seen me as this option of just come around as Netflix and chill, and that's all it ever was to him because of a variety of reasons for whatever reason.
Well, you don't know that that's all he was always going to think about.
There's
it
no
might,
way
it
of
might have
telling.
been his first sort of like.
I betcha this chick has bra bikini photos on her Instagram page. And
That's not bad.
I
That's
betcha it's her fault. She's
you're a fuckhead.
She's like, why does everyone look at me like a piece of meat? I don't know. Maybe look at your Instagram, hon. Like, and I'm all for girls being free with their body, but like, if you're not going to be able to handle taking the attention,
Well-
and you're going to play dumb about why you get treated like meat all the time.
I think that her mentioning she likes this show
She's
and
a
him saying,
slut.
"Do you want to watch this show together?" It's not that.
I
bad.
think it's not. I actually
No.
don't think it's a bad play from him.
I
That's
think
him
he's
shooting
cool.
his shot,
She's a spastic.
and we don't know what sort of position that's in from him. But I think that it is actually him working in a way of a conversation to
Yeah.
say, "Hey,
100%.
let's just fuck," or come over.
Well, I don't
for
even
that
know if
reason.
he's saying let's just
No.
fuck. He's like, "Oh yeah, let's watch this show together.
Let's hang out.
Let's hang out and see what happens."
I reckon
Yeah.
he messaged this cunt's brother, and he was like, "What do I say to this girl?"
So are we agreeing that once it's come over in Netflix and chill territory, it's not it, and it's
No,
still
No, it's either. It just
Not
depends
at
on the
all.
person.
He
You can
fucking-
Netflix and chill
If
with
he's a
some-
wanker and
He
a
just-
prick,
yeah,
well, yeah, it's
is
done.
Is it
It's
relying
dead.
on him to then instigate something more from that then?
Yeah, after
So-
that, he does have to die down.
Once this the person that's written in, after they've said no, like I don't want to come over to Netflix and chill, are you then sitting back and waiting for this person to then go, okay, well, let's hang out, let's go for a drink,
Yeah.
to then feed into what
I
you
think it
want
was
to?
just his easiest in to
Yeah.
meet up with her physically.
As if you wouldn't on either party's behalf.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just it's
Like
just
you're
an
both clearly interested in each other.
If
Do you
the,
want to come over? Why the fuck
first
wouldn't you?
notion of hanging out together comes
Yeah.
up, and he took it.
if the booty call doesn't work, then you have to die it down. Not that you want to, but now you got to pretend that you want to take it slow.
The booty call doesn't
The
work.
deceptor.
Yeah. So you tried
The
to be
deceptor
honest.
speaks again.
Jabroni slides into the DM.
You tried to be honest. It didn't work.
Hey,
I
now
have
it's time to
deceive.
lie. Let me message you from my spoof again.
Now I have to deceive.
Oh boy.
It's rough.
We appreciate all the write-ins. We have gotten a few, and we've actually gone through a few discussion points this episode. So keep them coming. We love them. We love talking about them. The boys still wet thinking about them.
Big Diddy
We're going to
fans.
keep the last story for a little bit later because we know Jabroni has been into a few dangerous situations before, and we're going to pass it over to him for some of the more dangerous tales that he has been in and the trouble that he's gotten himself into over time. So Jabroni, like you've got yourself into a few nasty situations, and you and the great man next to you have found yourself overseas in a few ticklers of situations. Can you dissect what happens in Vietnam? Because what happened to Vietnam certainly
Well, when I
isn't
went
staying there.
when I went to Vietnam, a lot of people portrayed it as this scary country, but it's not what me and Angus found at all. Because I was every day revealing my penis every day. It became a sport, actually.
Can I interject here? One of my favourite things of your trip to Vietnam, and how I was overseas at the time when you were over there, is you were tempting the bubbler.
Yeah.
No,
Not attempting.
Can someone fill me in on what tempting the butler means? What is this, some kind of
So,
speak?
like, for those that don't know what a bubbler is when
It's a drink tap.
it's a
Oh,
drink
right.
tap.
Yeah,
A
yeah.
human drink
With
tap.
your
A human
long.
drink tap. It's the self-sufficient
Okay, mate.
drink tap of themselves.
Yeah, so you're recycling the
So what
the-
comes out has to go back in.
Rehydration.
Yeah.
Yes,
We'll call it.
rehydration.
Yeah.
Not sure where I learned. Actually, shout out Pigsy. Shout out Pigsy, mate, from Old
But
Town.
it actually got famous from a festival that was in Victoria or on the border.
It's a bubble tap.
Is the bubble tap, and there was a story that we will tell very, very shortly. That one of our friends was folding themselves like a lawn chair in
My
the water
favourite
of the
thing to
Murray
do.
in front of hundreds of people fully naked,
Just-
bathing in 30 plus degrees.
Sounds like strawberry to me.
I think it was.
I think it was. I wasn't actually there, but the bubbler and the phenomenon of the bubbler really come from one of our friends folding themselves over and trying to recycle
I don't even
water
think
back
he was
into
in the
his mouth.
river, was he? He was in the middle of the campsite.
No. Well, I think it happened more than once, to be fair.
But yeah, pissing in your mouth is fun, guys. It actually is. I wouldn't do it sober.
Is the attempt funner than actually doing it?
His stream was so weak the first like 5 attempts. He's
Yeah.
like, by the end of this, I'm gonna do it. And I'm trying to film him every day, and he's pissing, and it's getting about like this far away from his mouth, and he just can't do it.
Couldn't get it. But I'd forgotten about that, to be honest. But
This is why people have Snapchat though, and then we spoke about it on the last podcast very intimately. We got into a heated debate of why Snapchat is so much better than close friends on Instagram. It is stories like this
Yeah.
where it is a one play and it's not being replayed.
yeah, 100%. Because there was a lot of my dick being sent to my friends.
A lot.
Huge
I-
loss, by the way.
A lot of my dick, a lot of my dick being uploaded to thousands of people to see for the day. Like we went on a roller coaster where I got my dick out, where they take the photo at the end.
Brilliant.
You get to
I
pay
like
for the
that.
photo.
Have you seen-
You get to pay for the photo at the end, and
In
this
Vietnam.
cunt is also. You're on this alpine coaster thing. There's people in front of you. There's this old lady that's going so slow, and we're both behind her for like the first.
Oh, is this the one that's
yeah,
like
you've got like a
thing?
break.
Oh, I've seen a video.
And so like
Yeah,
we're
yeah,
like
yeah.
the first 30 seconds because they give you 30 seconds after the last person goes to go.
But you can break it whenever.
So you can
can't
break whenever, right? But like, so the first minute of the ride, you're just like going, yeah, this is sick or whatever. And then you finally get down to this old lady who's in front of you, break on the whole time.
And she's just taking in the
So I
views.
fucking ram
We
raided.
figured out if you put your foot over like the center
what?
in the
You
front, you
drilled
can
her?
stop it. Yeah, he just rammed straight up her ass. She's screaming. Like,
Wait, you're not the one in the famous video.
no, it wasn't quite as bad as that. At
Have
all.
you seen
I've
that
seen
one?
That,
Yeah.
Fuck.
No, I didn't jack.
Because I was about to fucking slap you around if it were. I was like, that guy's a
that
prick.
lady's right. Yeah, it wasn't.
That's a
Wait,
back
but-
break.
Yeah, it wasn't.
But
That bad.
after the
She did literally break it.
the people of the roller coaster, they go, oh, at the end you'll get your photo taken, and this is day 7 of me pulling my dick out every day. So I look at my friends and I'm like, I'm pulling my dick
It's
out.
time. It's
And
time, my brethren.
I see the cameras and I have the dick fully out, and I'm on my own little alpine coaster, and at the end of it there's a screen, a big plasma where
There's like a hut with a guy in there with
can-
40 screens sieving through like each photo to make sure nothing's inappropriate.
you can view your photo and look at it before you purchase it, and there's 50 Vietnamese locals there waiting for their photo to come up, and then bang, there's me, and I come up, dick.
Little old Johnson comes
Done.
up.
It's like the TV. The
This
size
isn't
of
a
that,
little
like
dick either.
like a 50-inch TV and like a
Yeah.
camera that's off National Geographic. Like you see fucking you can see all these cubes. Like
And like these
See the crabs.
Vietnamese people, like they're respectful people. in
Hell
Vietnam. They're very respectful. So like when they see a white piece of trash with
This
his
is like-
dick out,
Rock bottom.
like we had to leave the
we
park.
had our scooters there. We
instantly.
literally had to run to the scooters and go see you bye.
They would have arrested you.
Yeah,
This
so-
week on
and
rock
then and then
bottom.
like the next day I'm on a zip line and he's like strapped me in to go down the zip line, and he's like, they take photo at the end. And I look
And you're
at
like,
the room.
oh, I'm sure they
And
do.
then I pulled my dick out before I even attempt to go down the zip line, and the zip line instructor wouldn't let me go down the zip line with my dick out. And then
You had this sorted.
I go down the zip line, and I'm going down the zip line trying to pull the dick out.
Because what, you're in like a harness and
Yeah,
shit.
it
Yeah.
turned 180 at the end, so you're backwards towards the dude.
I had the dick out, yeah, but I was facing the
Fuck, it
wrong
would have been
way.
good if you were trying to do the bubbler on the way down the zip line.
That would be certainly a photograph.
Yeah, it would.
Yeah.
And then we're in a dark cave, like kilometers under the ground, with a bunch of tourist strangers, and I'm like, everyone turn your lights off. And I'm trying to get everyone to go pitch black in the cave, so then I can pin my light straight onto my dick. So there'll be, and there was a bunch of, what country are they from? Like
Israel.
a bunch of Israeli boys were like GoProing my dick up
They were,
close.
they were chill.
And then I was loving them heaps, and Angus and that are like, I'm pretty sure they're gay, dude.
They kept on trying to like chat him up essentially, and he's just oblivious.
Look at my dick.
White pig on tour, full spec.
Like on the last day, we seen a local catch a fish, and I went up to him and tried to put my dick in his fish's mouth, the fish that he was going to eat for dinner.
Where were you for this?
This was in
Ho Chi Minh.
I actually,
Yeah, well,
I remember seeing that photo. That was on.
There's a
Snapchat.
video.
Well, I have a
filming.
fantastic segue from that.
Dick in a fish's mouth.
Benny,
Shout
I don't know what I don't
Shout out
know.
to
Have you seen the Tasmanian video?
trout.
That's all I'm saying. Yeah.
Oh, please tell. Can you go?
Wait, did she?
Yeah,
sure
she
she's
did.
dead?
Oh, Jesus.
She
All right,
did.
never mind. I won't
Yeah.
speak ill of the dead.
I'm not sure.
Wait, but at least that bloke probably made heaps of money from the video.
Probably not. He probably went to jail too.
Benny, can you tell us that story, please?
Oh,
That's
there was this
crazy.
viral video. I don't know, what was it, like 2020 or something? Like
No,
5
it was
years
like
ago?
not even that long ago.
8 months ago, I
Oh,
reckon.
it was like a year or two.
That was years.
It was like a year or two. I don't
But anyway, this video got shared around of this Tasmanian couple in Tassie on a boat or on like a kayak or something. It was like it was a boat, and they'd caught this trout, and the dude, the hubby, was holding the trout against his missus.
Against, it was like in.
Yeah, it was like in her
yes.
Bit of that.
snatch.
Yeah, no, that was a lot older than 8 months ago.
No, it was
Yeah.
like a year or two.
No,
I swear I was
not
in
not
high
my-
school
No.
when that was
No
on.
fucking way. It was not that long.
It would
ago.
have been last
I'm
fall.
not that old.
Well, you can't.
I'm surrounded by idiots.
You mean your missus was in high school?
okay.
So bonkers video. Obviously,
Yeah.
pretty wild
Shout
stuff.
out trout chick. R.I.P.
Oh, yeah,
I actually had recently been on a hike in Tasmania before that video came out.
yeah.
Cradle Mountain, 6 days.
When
was
my
it?
parents lived
was
near there.
When was the hike? 8 months ago.
No, well, it would have been 16 months ago, probably. No,
Okay.
the hike was about 3 years ago, but
Okay.
unreal. If you haven't been to Tasmania for a hike, nuts. Like, crazy. Blew my mind. I
Shout
reckon
out Tasmania for the sponsorship for the pot.
They got great seafood too.
shout out
Yeah.
Cradle Mountain. And shout out all the opium they have up there as well.
Did your mum like shoot off a flare for a helicopter to come get her? or
So
something?
my mum is fucked in the head. Yeah, she ruined that trip for me, unfortunately.
Something one person in your family that's fucked in the head, mate.
Right at the end of the trip, you get on a ferry after 6 days of hiking, and the ferry takes you back to the mainland. And everyone on the ferry voted for who their favourite person was in the hike, and it was a no-brainer. I won the vote. And here's my mum going, "But what about me? I was entertaining." And
Are you not entertained?
we'd have to look at my mum and go like, "Shut up, bitch."
What? Everyone in unison just going.
Did you get along with your mum?
My mum is a simple answer to that.
Okay.
No.
Grim.
I was about to be much more harsh, but no, we'll go with. But she's a cool chick, you know. I think like I'd probably blaze up
Duality
with
of
her.
man.
Have we
you know.
got two mummies boys sitting next to me?
If I ran, oh no, definitely not a mummy's boy
No,
here.
Angus?
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah. I love my mum. I reckon she's a fucking treasure.
I love mums, but not my one.
I've spoken about my mum a few times. I absolutely adore my mum. I think she's great, and she's also always super, very, very good for advice. But she's also got like this little bit of like, crazy about her, which I absolutely love. And I think that's why I adore women that are super caring, but also have a little bit of crazy about them. I think
They
that
are
we pick up things from our mums that we want.
Well, it's more fun that way.
Drug addiction.
Oh shit!
I was referring to Angus.
It's hereditary.
Let's finish up with our last story from this one is not anonymous to me, so I had this was via Instagram, so I know who it is, and I'll try and shed light where I can, but she's awesome, she's a great chick, and again, another female writing. But the story goes, build a boy and the sunnies that have been left behind. So I met this builder who had just moved down from a country town, which was Albury. We grabbed a couple of drinks and one afternoon, nothing hectic. It was just a good vibe. It got dark. He asked if we could chuck some sunnies in my bag. It's kind of cute, right? And we ended up walking back to my house in Geelong West. He called an Uber and we shared a kiss. It was a sweet moment. There was nothing wild and there was no red flags. It was just nice. It was just an easy day after a couple of drinks. Normally I'd get a follow-up text later that night. Like, I got home safe or thanks for today. But nothing. Nada. The next Arvo rolls around and I realise that I still haven't heard from him. And then I realise that I've still got his sunnies in my bag. I thought, surely he'll reach out and even just for the sunnies, but no, he actually didn't. So I sent him a message. Hey, I hope that you've had a good day and I hope you enjoyed yesterday afternoon. You left your sunnies in my bag. Haha. Let me know if you want to catch up again. like a kind of way of saying, you know, let's catch up.
I'm
I've got your
interested.
sunnies anyway. Yeah, I think that's there's nothing wrong with
And
that.
he knows his sunnies are there.
Correct. He knows.
He
you
ain't coming back for them.
And knowing I know what kind of sunnies these are. They're like a couple of $100.
Too
so
savage.
It's worth probably chasing up these sunnies. But there was silence. There was literal crickets. Not even a cheers. I'll grab them off you. So she sold the sunnies on him.
She sold them.
Sold the
how-
sunnies on
She
him.
stole or sold?
Savage.
How quickly?
Savage.
Straight to Depop.
Hell yeah.
She made a cheeky little profit from Mr. No Tech's back.
That's my kind of bay.
She felt like it was compensation for ghosting with zero manners.
Hell yeah.
Well, what did she
Fair?
do wrong? I
Yeah.
think she might have left.
No,
him
I
there.
And that's the
I
end of
thought
the
that she's
story.
done the right thing. Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Oh, well, he's clearly not keen. He's not coming back for the Sunnies.
Was it okay to sell
mate,
the sunnies?
Well, if she messaged him and said,
I mean, it depends how long we're talking.
I'll sell your fucking kid if you leave it at my house for too long.
I like two like a week or two.
Wait.
No talk. Yeah, I think it's fine to
Yeah.
sell the Sunnies.
Hell yeah.
Why not?
"That's just
To
weird."
this day, there's
We're all
still been
trying to
no
make money
contact.
out of
You
it.
leave your car
I'm
out
trying
the
to
front
make
of
a
my
living.
house.
I think
for a few
he's
days. It's
decided
going up
that
on
like
Marketplace.
the amount of the sunnies is worth less than talking to her again.
Which is harsh. Isn't
Yeah,
it?
I'm kind of like more sus on the
I've been
dude's
there.
angle. I'm like, why the fuck?
No, but like, what did she do
I
to
know.
make him not?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I feel
yeah.
like it's pretty hard.
I've been there before where I've left a nice pair of pants
Yeah, mine.
or some sunnies.
Maybe he's
How
just
the fuck are you
really.
getting home without pants.
I've never lent this.
Maybe he's just really wealthy and he just is just fine with that.
Yeah.
He's a builder from Albury. I don't think he's flexing that
Is he a
hard.
builder?
No,
But
I
no,
reckon.
Loaded.
I reckon because it's cheap there, people will be building.
I've left.
I'm actually gonna like hashtag the brand of sunglasses in here.
Let's see if
What
we can.
brand?
Yeah, go on.
It's Rick's Eyewear.
No, no.
Never heard of them.
They were a pair of cherry sunnies.
Hardly know her.
Very schmick pair of sunnies. This is not an ad, but
She
if Rick's
sent
want
you
to
the
send out
80s.
any pairs of sunnies, we'd fucking love the pair.
Hell yeah.
Interesting.
Shout out TPT as well for the watches they just sent me.
One in each hand. We're telling different time.
This one's reading Japan time because
someone else.
anime nerd. And this one TPT just sent me for pretty cheap. Shout out.
It's way too big, and it's having an extra 6 links because you've got girl wrists.
Shout out Timepiece Trading. Send me a watch. And I mean another watch.
So we're all in unison that the girl that has sold the watch has done nothing wrong.
No.
Is there a time limit to when this?
You can start selling other people.
Yeah.
I'd say.
I mean, it seems kind of weird.
I'd probably just keep it.
I mean,
But
like,
yeah, I just.
Like,
Why
would you keep the sunnies?
They'd come in handy.
I got delivered.
dating someone else.
else.
Just give it to them. It's a
I
power
got
move.
delivered something. Someone delivered their sunnies to the wrong address, and it ended up at mine. I don't even know what street it
Why
was
the
from.
fuck are you opening up?
you're eating those.
No, because
sunnies.
I had something in the mail that I was expecting. I didn't like read it. I was just like,
Okay.
oh, there's my package,
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
opened it up, and I was like, what the fuck? Did they send the wrong thing? And then I looked at it, I was like, oh,
This ain't mine.
wrong address. And then I looked at it, I'm like, the sunnies are kind of cool. So I was like, oh,
I'm
okay.
kidding.
Drop them off.
You gift
Yeah,
it.
but I'll wear them. I'll wear them for a gig, man, for sure.
Gig.
I know the
It's
sunnies
kinda
on your head
wacky
right
too.
now.
What
so-
What are you playing in
No.
in your gigs? Oh, you mentioned it before. Or you mentioned you played a gig. What are you?
I'm in a couple of bands.
Actually, let's get Benny over here. We're
I
gonna
reckon you
we're
look
gonna do a
really-
quick swap with Benny.
I reckon you look
shine.
familiar.
What
as
what,
well.
what what kind
Benny's
of
got a fair bit to
what,
talk
what
about
kind of
regarding
what
gigs.
kind of music genre are we playing here?
Metal for sure.
Because I'm a big metalhead myself.
You look familiar. I feel like I've seen you before.
You know, if we're talking metal, if we're
If
talking
you've been to
Australia,
Bowling Club,
Yes,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
I'm there probably twice a week.
True.
And there we go.
it's a sweet
um,
spot.
Well, one of the bands is like really like heavy rock, I'd say.
I'll get around
And
it.
I'm lead guitar and vocals in that one.
Hell yeah.
And then the other one, special guest, is like post punk.
Oh, wait. Did you play on the
And-
weekend?
I was supposed to, but our guitarist broke his hand.
Oh, hell.
He's an arborist, so it was
That makes sense.
he was
Yeah.
80 feet high up in a tree, and then there were some amateurs down below that weren't watching what they were doing, and they were meant to guide the branch that he just cut off around to the other side of the tree where it
Yeah.
wasn't,
But they didn't
but they were fucking around, and then it just
hit him back.
crashed
Yeah.
down on his hand.
Bit of compo.
That is
That
right.
was going to be a great show. I saw some footage of it, and there was like a couple of hundred people there, so I'm pretty bummed.
I was
didn't
going to
get
go
play
to that, but I was severely hungover.
Referring to the music that inspires you, then what kind of artists are you listening to?
Black Sabbath a lot.
Some,
like
some
always.
old school metal.
I got their logo there.
Fuck yeah.
Big
What-
fan.
Do you know much about metalcore in Australia at the moment?
I've seen like a fair few of like the heavier, like I don't know what's like.
So by metalcore is Amity of Amity Affliction. You've got Norlane,
Parkway
Drive,
North Lane.
North Lane. Sorry,
Norlane Drive.
Norlane
Shout
Drive.
out.
sorry.
Fuck yeah,
It's
Solar Drive would
it's
be
been
a
a
sick name
I'm
for a metal band, I
I'm
reckon.
not claiming to be a metal.
No, I'm not.
head.
I do not like that.
It's the metal with the screaming, but then the soft vocals as well.
No,
you
I
know?
don't like it.
Like Bring Me the
Don't
Horizon.
like it. I like one or the other.
You don't like Bring Me the Horizon?
No.
What about like fucking Falling in Reverse?
No.
Fuck, Jesus, all right.
Nobody likes closing ourselves
No,
off
I'm
here.
either, if you're gonna go like heavy, it needs to be heavy all the way. High on Fire.
Yeah, no, I don't know them, but I do like my heavies. Can you give me some heavy vocals really quick? Like I want to see the.
He's good.
I need to fucking.
Come on, just give me. I know it's hard.
What do you mean? You've had half a dozen beers.
I've tried to learn it. Yes,
True.
cunt,
That
that's
was
elite.
terrible.
And then
That
I
was
should get
shocking.
you do that, and then I'll throw some soft. Go. Ready? Go.
Yeah.
Baby, come last in your soul.
Jeez
We can start
Louise.
a band, bro.
Oh,
Fuck
I'm
the
already
podcast.
I can't do
Holy
anymore.
shit.
Where
that was
and there's an actual a quick shout out to what Benny's been able to do recently. He has an unreal video clip
Yeah.
from his band's most recent video that's on YouTube
Yes,
at the
our
moment.
latest
It is
single, yes.
fucking
Steel
phenomenal.
Caps, it's about coppers.
We hate them. Can you tell us a little bit more about that, Benny?
So I guess we just started riffing on just a riff, like the whole band was jamming, and then I just started spitting out lyrics about police. And I was like,
Fuck the boys.
there we go. And then we engineered the lyrics a bit more, and then we just turned it into a proper song, and we were like, fuck, this actually kind of slaps. And then we were just like, let's do a music video. So I used a mate, shout out Ben Cook. We used his studio in South Geelong, and we shot the music video in like 3 hours.
Fucking, it's actually legitimately
Edited it that
unreal.
night. Edited it as soon as I got home. I was so excited. I just edited it that night with Joss, the other co-founder of the band, and we just smacked the video out, and it's out now. Steel Cap special guest, check it out.
I will right after this.
We're gonna drop a link because I'm super proud of Benny with
thanks,
what he's able to do because that it was fucking phenomenal.
Phenomenal.
Phenomenal. Yeah.
Phenomenal.
Hey, if you need a stage man as well, I can be.
If you need a groupie,
A hype man.
Angus is
well,
good for
I'm
it.
saying, like,
Oh, we're playing at Old Bar this Friday.
I can pull
be
a
there.
crowd. I'm telling you, if I get the shit
Bring 'em
on,
along.
and
along.
if I spray paint my cock,
Oh, would be more than happy to have you along.
love getting the cock out.
More than happy to have you along.
We have been absolutely enthralled with the boys tonight. We've had such a good time with everybody's engagement and how we've been able to go about our storytelling tonight. I feel like this is actually a real good branch from what we've been doing. It's been episode 10. A quick shout out to our Nairobi listeners.
Hell yeah.
We've been able to branch
Shout out.
Shout out. They most likely mistakenly clicked on something.
I would say that's very likely.
Very
likely.
but there has been a download from Nairobi. And,
Do we have
They've
any,
fallen asleep.
some
and it's just
Nigerian
what I
priest
play.
trying to
any
sell
Jewish listeners though? Who do I want to know?
we love our Kenyan listeners. And we'll skips over that.
All listeners.
It actually is.
Hugely appreciative of everybody that tunes in at the moment, and anybody that's made it this far in the hour and a half that we've been playing. We hope that you've enjoyed it. I know that we'll get the boys back on at some stage, and
Definitely.
we feel like we've listened, leveled up a little bit in episode 10.
We have.
And the viewers are getting stronger and stronger, and we appreciate everybody that's especially sticking around at this stage within the pod, and especially the video of being able to watch us. Please continue to send in the telling them stories or people that are connecting with me directly to tell me stories. I know that I've been bugging a couple of people that I know that are good for stories. I love you, and don't think that it's underappreciated. But everybody's stories that are told, you're an absolute weapon, and everybody has their own stories. And I know that these boys next to me are harvesting more stories that they will like to admit. And some mails, please. Just anonymous mail stories.
Send us your dicks.
Somehow, some way, we're gonna get Jabroni's dick.
We're going to start doing dick reviews.
Big story.
So send them in. We won't show them on the pod, but we will.
Not a
review
horrible
them.
idea. We'll give the name,
We'll have to
age,
describe
and then
them in
describe
words.
it. Yeah.
We'll
Paint a
mention
picture.
your name and
I don't mind
Your
that. I don't mind that.
and we'll rate the cock.
I'm gonna have to hire someone to go through the rate my dick situation. That's out of my scope. But we've got 3 people with a fair bit of going on right now, and I want to reach over to especially our first legend here, as Benny is always on the pod. I just want everybody to be able to say something that they got going on in their life that we have something to look forward to. Benny always has something that he is producing at the moment. So Benny, take us for our first step.
Special guest got a show this Friday at the Old Bar. Oh, but this will probably release. This show's probably already been and gone by the time this releases.
No. I think this episode's going to be released Thursday or Friday morning.
Okay, well, either the following day or that night.
So what date are we talking
Got
about?
to show it. It's the. God, what date is it today? It's the 9th, 10th,
It is
The 10th.
Tuesday. I can't.
10th,
the
11th,
10th.
12th, 13th. So it's Friday the 13th. Spooky.
Good old bar.
At Old Bar. Yeah, we're opening up.
Very good.
So yeah. Check it
Angus,
out.
tell us something about Schwingdings and what you've got coming up, mate.
Yeah, just, working on me artistic space at the moment. Getting there. It's hard with being a tradie and everything, but yeah, just slowly building it up. Block
Where
by
can
block.
people find your artistic desires?
Yeah, so on Instagram at Schwingdings, SHWING Dings. Yeah, it's just got some of the art and stuff on there. So if you want to check it out, that would be fantastic.
Dings.
Swing ding.
Dings, yeah.
Swing.
Mr. Nairobi himself. What have you got going on?
What going on? Well, I'm looking to quit my job soon here, actually. And
I'm not employing you as a permanent co-host.
not what I was looking at. I am gonna maybe be a rival in the space, not in the pod space, but I'm looking to start a poker influencer channel.
This is huge, and this is what I was sort of getting about a little bit before, and I want you to explore this because I have been following along with your story, only because we are very, very close friends.
I'm a machine at poker. I don't know why, but it took me 6 months to learn the game, and then another 6 months to realize I can fuck a lot of people over in this game. So now we're getting there. It's a slow step, but hopefully this year, quit my job, become a poker influencer or homeless. Either two, I'm happy with, because you got to risk it for the biscuit, as my nana would say.
So we're going to get you on at another point when this actually gets up and flying. I'm actually going to get you both up. Hopefully our setup is a little bit improved.
Maybe we should play a game of poker live on the podcast.
I
My
like
poker's-
keeping my money where I have control.
Yeah,
of it.
you-
No,
you
no
will
money.
lose all your money.
With chocolate.
Yeah, we'll have some other faux currency.
Salami.
Well, in a perfect world, all of us are going to Crown where I'm allowed to film, and we're stealing a lot of people's money there.
Perfect.
So that's what I'm aiming towards.
I'll be
but
keeping an eye out.
I need
We'll-
to find out how I can film in Crown first. If anyone knows how, let me know, because I've tried.
We will.
There's those new Ray-Ban sunglasses with.
Yeah, but then you can't even
camera.
upload it. You upload it, you're fucked. You need to be big enough to pay them money to film, or to be able to want them to let you film in there, because it's going to bring in a bunch of degenerate gamblers if you film.
Yep.
It's a loophole I haven't worked out yet, but I'm getting there.
So, Jabroni, when you get up and running and you actually do quit your job and you start moving in that space, we will have you on, because it is such an interesting space and we want to follow along. I know that anybody that's listened to half the story that you've had for us today, it's just going to be absolutely spellbound for the shit that you spin, especially on a poker table.
Joe Jabroni's coming up.
Joe Jabroni, I think if we found you.
There's
Thank
your
you.
stage name. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Thanks anybody that is still listening. We appreciate your time. And please, if you are listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, please give us 5 stars. And anybody that's going to subscribe, please. We need it. We love it. It puts us in front of more people exactly like you. So please, we appreciate it. But mostly, thank you so much for listening, watching, and me and Benny can't wait to see you again soon. Thank you.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Swell.